time for the coffee show. Kick off and fill it up with the train. When Nebraska season flourish, the willing
Welcome to the I-80 Club Saturday morning coffee show. Jack, our last regular Saturday morning coffee show of the season leading up to a Nebraska game. I'm sad. How are you?
Oh, I just poured coffee on my keyboard.
Oh, no. Is everything okay?
I'm sure it is. Oh, I keep a towel right over here.
Oh, perfect. Look at that.
I'm cleaning up on them. Sorry, I was doing my Northwestern College handout blessings if needed be on my boy Jalen.
Nice.
Hope we don't see him today in regular action, but if we do, I trust him.
Maybe some kneel downs at the end of the game. Maybe some kneel downs.
I would actually prefer maybe like a 4 touchdown lead, maybe in the early fourth quarter, and saying, "Hey, time to get him some play." So.
Jack, can you imagine the vibes of the watch party that we will be doing tonight if that is to be the case and Nebraska is up by that many touchdowns? Can you imagine what an event like that would bring to us? How happy you would be, the smile on your face, the gloriousness of the I-80 Club YouTube channel tonight for the watch party.
I will have a different beverage in this Northwestern Cup. I don't know if Northwestern approves of that, but they don't. Yeah. I didn't sign anything when I bought it.
Speaking of different beverages, that is a great reminder. We are doing sips for supers tonight. So hook us up with a super, give us a thought, and we will deliver you some words and some drinks on the watch party tonight. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, and the other exciting thing that we are going to try to do tonight, I'm sure we'll pull it off. We'll see how
we have at least two people locked. Okay,
we do. We are going to be bringing in cameo appearances with additional people to enjoy portions of the game with us. Kind of like Manning cast style.
Yep.
Although we're not going to. I hate when those guys are trying to interview them and not watching the game. I'm not going to try and interview because they're going to be. Well, we'll see who it is. So who is confirmed right now on the guest list?
Right now we have Connor Happer confirmed. He's going to join us on the third drive of the game. Third overall drive of the game. Let's get a little
anyone. He's going to do one drive for whatever it is.
Just third drive. So it'll be Nebraska, Penn State have the ball first, and then whatever the next drive is, whoever has the ball for the second time.
What should be Kenneth Williams?
Second quarter.
Kenneth from Morley takes a kick.
And then we're like, wait, does the kickoff return for a touchdown count? Is that a drive? So Happer's going to join us early on in the football game and allow us to kind of catch our bearings and get going. Holy shit, a super chat already?
Keen.
Go Keen.
I love that attitude.
F Penn State, F Happy Valley, F Whiteouts, F that Temu-looking cat mascot made with old brown towels, and F Joe Paterno and his Coke bottle glasses. Let's go, Keen. Good morning.
Man, forget Will Compton getting me in the mood. Keen 3431 did it for me today. Shout out.
Wow. Shout out to you, Keen.
Not enough Penn State hate this week.
Well, we can bring it on the show today. We can bring it on on the show tonight. So we'll have Happer. He'll join us early. Matt McMaster's going to join us at halftime. He was like, I can do halftime. And that's normally when Jack and I take a little bit of a break, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure
we pee.
Yes, exactly. So maybe we'll pee to start off the half. Whoever is back first can bring Matt in and we'll talk to him. I was thinking, Jack, of texting my co-host because he will be doing Overreaction tonight with Happer, but he's going to be at home. Maybe John would want to talk it now. He'd probably talk a little. He'd probably talk a little shit though, and you'd make a Nebraska basketball Creighton joke, and then we'd just be off the rails.
People love that bit. I think that'd be good. If there are names, now not we'll take any suggestion subject to our approval. But if you have a suggestion that we approve, we will reach out to them.
Okay.
And I can't guarantee they'll do it. But we'll reach out to anybody you suggest to make a cameo.
Perfect.
Show. I don't know who else would do that. So
yeah,
and I know who everybody's. Anyway, we'll see. I'd like some good creative ones. That'd be particularly good.
Okay. Jab says Dirk for the entire third quarter.
I mean, you can just get Dirk and Michael out of the way now. We know you love Dirk.
Dirk, Michael, Sam. Can we just get all three of those guys on? Yeah. Schick, Nick. Let's get all those guys on.
Yes.
So. Yeah. Kugler. Yeah. We'll see what we can make happen. By the way, Jab says, is it Barva or Barv, that guy you had on the presidential candidate? How's his name pronounced, Jack?
I think it's Barv.
Gary Barv, basketball doing huge numbers. Is this the best week of Jack's career? Yeah,
and I started out with full mask guy.
Yeah, and then drops us a super saying F Penn State. Like, this is, dude, these are your golden days right now. I hope you're really enjoying what is happening in front of you.
Dilo says, got to get Ravi. Bruce says, El Kent. Okay.
Jab says, Kent. Hello.
Jab says, Mina Kimes. Oh, that's a good
I reached out. I emailed Mina, tried to get her on the football show.
Mina, see if she wants to come on the live show.
No response.
Jab says, call Matt Rule at halftime.
Well, one of us has his phone number, Jack. I think we could probably make that happen. Now, will he answer? That's the question.
Matt says, are we ripping off Husker Online soups for Sipple? I don't know that show.
I don't watch that show, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, also we've been doing this for quite a long time. So
yeah, we
you can ask Jacob Bigelow in the bottle of wine.
Remember that little wine glass that he was drinking out of during the basketball season?
Amazing moment in the club. Amazing.
Yep, exactly.
Blue Sky her, she'll respond. Okay.
Should I shoot her? I mean, I'm on Blue Sky.
There's no way she'll say yes. There's zero chance she'll say yes if she.
I don't want to be a creeper. Hey, Mina, do you want to come on my watch party for Nebraska tonight?
I think we need to go up the ladder a little. She's pretty high up.
I do have Jack. I have an ESPN email to book guests because over the last few months I have booked Stanford Steve and then Dave Fleming, who called the Nebraska or the Creighton Gonzaga game a few weeks ago. So I not to brag, I got an ESPN guy that I could hit up and ask for things.
We could hit up Big Ten Ben. That might be fun.
That's a great idea. We haven't had Ben on the show.
No, we could hit him up. Maybe we need a former player. We need to get better. I did tag Corey Ross in my good friend.
Very close
Jack
friend
Mitchell
who loves responding.
Jack Mitchell, U.S. flag, Corey Ross. We'll see if he responds, but
lots of handshakes.
He's again good friend.
Yeah,
good close friend. We do need to find some former players who would like to play along with this. That would be good.
Yeah.
We need to build up that network in our Rolodex. That's what a Rolodex we don't have.
You want us to go after like Jason Peter and Grant Wistrom? Is that what you're talking about?
If I ranked the players I knew best, the former players I knew best,
Corey Ross.
My good friend would be Corey Ross.
Sure.
I think Jason Peter would probably be too, in terms of the guys I know best. Well,
he unfollowed me on Twitter.
I did a show. Yeah, he probably won't do it. He might hate you. Always have that problem. We got people who hate just you, and then we can't do things.
Yeah,
it's never me. It's always you.
I was critical of Scott Frost one time, and people got mad.
Adrian Martinez. Josh has his number too.
I have his number, and I actually reached out to him to come on to do Groin Kick Chronicles stuff. Now he's busy. He's got a. Though I guess his game's not till Monday night, so maybe he's not as busy.
That'd be amazing. I like
Bruce.
Ahen suggests CT11. That's not the worst idea.
Make it right with CT11 and Sadie.
I could finally get it right with CT11 and Sadie. That'd be amazing. Rank masked. That'd be good.
There you go.
Braden Frager. I like a Asian would do it. I bet.
You see what Bruce just did? Do we dare ask the librarian himself, Thomas?
Bury the hatchet. Bury the hatchet. It's a week of burying the hatchet.
That's what this week has turned into. So yeah, join us tonight. We're gonna have a blast. We'll go on at around 6 o'clock.
Dylan Raiola. That's actually the best idea possible.
Well, he is available. I don't have his phone number. I'm sure I could get it, but I do not have his phone number. So yeah, Jack, we'll get an official time a little bit later on. I'm trying to think of the people that will be in the press box that I know well enough to text and say, hey, what does the official countdown clock say? I think that person is going to be Brunts. I think I will text Brunts later tonight.
Kevin Suits I could get to.
Yeah, okay. Because, the people that I text, well, he doesn't go to games now anymore, but I used to text Mike Schaefer. But also Caleb Henry is the other guy that those are the two go-tos for me in terms of, hey, what does the countdown clock say? AKA, when is the official start?
And we did reach out to Schaefer. He actually was the primary idea for this.
Schaefer is busy tonight. He is unable to do it. He said he was actually sad. He was like, I'm honestly bummed. That sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
That's nice of him to say. He's got a busy social schedule now, right?
He does. Yeah, he's got all this time in the world.
That's a bummer. We will do at some point. Maybe we'll do a basketball watch along with Schaefer.
I was going to say, we also have Be Kind Husker Rewind 2012 Michigan State that we're going to get to at some point in the offseason.
Yeah, but I want to do a basket because Schaefer couldn't let his basketball fan flag fly now.
That's true.
He is a if people don't know this, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this.
Yeah, look at you. He's supposed to be unbiased, or was supposed to be unbiased. Okay, now you're about to take away the shroud.
Am I doxing his fandom? He
took a photo of himself at the Rose Bowl 2 weeks ago with a Nebraska shirt on. He's back, baby.
In the last time Nebraska basketball played in the Hall of Fame Challenge in Kansas City, he sat behind me. I didn't even know him that well then, and I took a selfie of me and him. And he told me to delete it because he was wearing a Husker shirt. I remember because you responded like typical Josh. The minute something hits the internet, that dude is the fastest. Today I texted Josh asking for a graphic of something, and I didn't even hit the period on the text to send it. I don't know how you do this, but that does remind me.
Yeah,
good news for everyone. I guess I asked you for something else, but you're going to want to check out the merch store after this show or during the show if you want to, because
is this related to the holiday time of year that we are entering into?
Santa Brasky Ball has gone live as of 10 minutes ago.
Let's freaking go. That is awesome.
So what I would do, I need to look at when the deals are happening because
we're coming up on Black Friday. We're getting very close, folks.
I will set up for those of you who are in the club. I will put some details. I just don't know it, but there will be if there's not a deal running on it now, I'll make one happen in the next couple of days. So if you want to wait for that, you can. But the other thing I'll mention is if you get it, I usually take about an hour to go through all of the individual merch and make sure it looks okay. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that yet to make sure we have some of the items it doesn't work on. Some of them it's a little uncentered, right? So I got to screw around with it.
You need me to go in and help a little bit? Is that what you're saying?
No, I do that myself. That's not a job I can't do. Do that. I've done that for so many of these. Wow, that's a bit insulting. I mean, just because it involves some sort of visual art, it doesn't mean that I'm incapable of doing it.
Just trying to help out a little bit.
So I can so I'll do that, and you can do it manually too. You can certainly get it. If you like how it looks, go ahead and get it right now. But I know we've had people, I figured people wanted to get it here before we get too far into the holiday season. So yes, Santa basketball. So Matt wants me to make a URL redirect for Eddie Club /merch. Okay.
Nice.
I got to get the merch working first.
Get on that, Jack.
There's an easier place to get it. I don't know. Maybe I already did do that too. I don't remember.
No idea.
I don't remember. We got too many things going on. We just did the biggest video on IID Club history last night.
I was going to say, before we get into the game, if you have missed it, and judging by the numbers, you probably have not. We had a lot of folks that have now watched the recap pod of Nebraska and New Mexico last night. Caleb and Jack went into the wee hours of the morning. It's coming for you. Volleyball State, the biggest Volleyball State video. It's looking in the rear view saying, what's that? Is that Nebraska basketball coming our way?
I know the specific show. It's the AVCA show they did from the rail yard.
Mm-hmm.
They had, it was a very big show. It was after Nebraska beat, I believe, Pitt. And it's our biggest ever video we've had on this channel. It's in danger right now. Let's just say that. It is in danger.
Driving down the road
to what we did last night. And so, Lincoln, Jeff, if you're watching,
watch out.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, watch out. Speaking of them, by the way, they'll be doing a Volleyball Late live and free next Friday.
Damn it!
Friday for what?
They're going to get 1 million viewers for that.
I know, because it's Nebraska, Penn State.
My reign on the throne is going to last like literal hours.
Yeah, if you're a Nebraska basketball fan, email us and tell us to keep doing these shows, because we are now trying to figure out what the hell are we supposed to do, because the interest level in this team is insanely high right now. And
the one thing I will ask, and I won't be able to necessarily accommodate this for sure, because again, we are bouncing with schedules between my work schedule, Caleb's schedule, working, and family, and then Caleb covers the games. I go to
his wife sits
games.
In the living room during
his
the
wife
pods.
had to sit in the living room until midnight last night. But if there's a time, I think we'll try and do post game for big games as much as we can, because that obviously is popular. But even on Sunday night, we had a big crowd. So maybe we're not going to do. Yeah. I think maybe we won't do as many day shows. I think that's probably one of the things
we're probably going to punt on those. The audience not as high as the ones that are at normal hours. So yeah, we'll be doing more. Stay tuned for any sort of announcement.
Oh, I did not see Husker for MU, the EMA_ tweet. I did not see that from the Husker handle. That's amazing. I was trying to think of an EMA joke to make. That was one of the jokes I did not make last night during this. So
and he adds, Jack and I can co-host a Nebraska ball show.
Dude,
Excellent idea. You can debate how whiny Nebraska fans are. It would be a great show.
I did have a take. It's been the first time this year I did have a take we discussed on the officiating, although it was a very technical decision, and I think one where they got the rule wrong at the end of the game by letting Kansas State or Nebraska shoot a free throw and then changing the clock.
Can you imagine if they would have lost on that? We would have had to do a Groin Kick Chronicles basketball edition just to rank that game.
What a bad week for that to have possibly happened.
Jesus Christ, that would have been absolutely terrible. So yeah, go check that out. If you haven't listened to it, check it out after Jack and I finish. It's about an hour. It's really good. I watched it live last night with the cast of thousands who've now seen it. So go check it out here on the ID Club YouTube channel. All right, Jack, let's get into it. Nebraska, Penn State. We have been talking about this game in a weird way, I would say, Jack, for the last 2 weeks, because there's been all this excitement for TJ Lateef, all this excitement for Emmett Johnson. Feels like, and we have talked a little bit lately about how long has it been since Nebraska played in a normal game against Penn State? I feel like, Jack, it's been a couple months since Nebraska played in a normal game, period. There's been the Matt Rule Penn State stuff. There's the contract extension stuff. The quarterback gets hurt stuff. The backup starts his first career game.
Yeah, you're right.
And now, this is still a weird game. Penn State does not have their head coach, for all of the obvious reasons. This is strange. But I do wonder if, we might finally settle into a normal football game at a normal time of the season, and can Nebraska show up in a really nice spot for the program moving forward this evening in State College?
Not to disagree with your point, but this still doesn't, because of all of the Penn State weirdness, it still doesn't feel like a normal football game to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because Penn State, I'm not saying they're not going to try today or don't, but there's just not much riding on this game for them. I assume kind of their fan base is looking into the future, not to minimize the game. I think it is, because you asked me the question yesterday on our joint show on the radio.
Yeah.
Is this a bigger game than it feels like? And I said yes. And I think it is, at least for Nebraska, at least from Nebraska's perspective. First of all, at the beginning, and shout out Keen again for the super chat, Kene, not to be confused with Keena. I'm a little disappointed Nebraska Penn State didn't turn in to more in the Big Ten. And I think Penn State might be too. I think that was a major misstep by the Big Ten. And I think they tried to do it at the outset with the legends and the leaders.
Remember, it was the protected rivalry, because they were in the leaders. Nebraska was in the legends division.
One good thing about that, because now everyone would say, yeah, it's Iowa and then Wisconsin. But if you take yourself back to when Nebraska got into the Big Ten, there is no question that Penn State was the team Nebraska had historically had the biggest rivalry with,
by far.
Even though they took years off from playing, but they played a huge chunk. They played back in the 50s. Then they had that huge chunk of playing in the 70s and the 80s, every year for 6 years or so.
Of course, the classic 82 game.
Yes, and then, of course, the not classic 02 game.
And then the not classic, the game that didn't happen because of the sport at the time at 94. So even, Jack, when they weren't crossing paths in the season, they were still kind of circling each other, saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. And, I imagine being a Penn State fan in 94 saying the only reason they got a title is because their coach hasn't won one yet,
And unlike Iowa or Wisconsin or Michigan, Penn State was still relatively new to the league, and so they didn't have some 100-year rivalry that they're giving an old thimble to the winner to, like an old Monopoly piece that's rusted out. And so like Nebraska and Penn State should have had that at the beginning. And they did. And then it's not only that, and of course we won them. Going away from those weird divisions was the right call, but then just not to schedule them. I mean, guys, the amount of times Nebraska has played like Rutgers and Lincoln in a regular game compared to Penn State, it's like, and they did play them I always kind of delete the 2020 game out of my mind, and they did have Penn State at home then. But after that, you got to go back to, I think, 2012 the last time.
So they played 11, 12. Yes, in Lincoln. Yes, it's been since 2012, and that was because they did 11 and 13 in State College. They did 12 and 20 in Lincoln, and then, of course, the 2017 game, which was the OG Wag Nachos experience for you and me and Shake and John.
And that was...
So it's like, so think about that. Nebraska's 4-1 since they joined the league. Every game, as I talked about with Michael Weinreb for the I-80 football show this week, there have been strange circumstances that have surrounded all of them. Of course, we know about 2011. I mean, that is literally the week that the Sandusky stuff breaks. In 12 and 13, Bill O'Brien is the head coach, and they're just kind of trying to cool off the smoldering embers that was what happened at the end of the Joe Paterno era. And then Jack skipped to 2017. The night before that game, Bill Moose is meeting with Scott Frost in Philadelphia. They're about to fire the head coach. And then fast forward to 2020, and obviously we know what 2020 was. So, like, now you go to 2025, so they haven't played in 5 years. This, again, is another odd circumstance because Penn State has already fired their head coach. And I joked about it with Weinreb the other day. I can't wait for these teams to just play in a normal football game where we can just talk about the X's and O's and who matches up with who and not have to have these big, grandiose topics about coaches and obviously the horrible stuff of a decade and a half ago.
They've never played each other again. Maybe I guess in that 2012 and the Pat Smith field goal game, I guess they were kind of, but Penn State was just down then a little bit, right? Because I'm trying to remember that 2012 game, I can barely remember in Lincoln. The only thing I remember is who's that white running back Penn State had?
He looked like
John Riggins. Somebody help me. Zach. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, the thing I remember from that game is the dive, and I just posted it in the chat. Oh God, it's such a tiny photo. But
thank you, Zach Zwinak. Yes.
Oh yeah. Remember that game, Penn State. They score a touchdown, but the refs rule that he had fumbled. They watched the replay. I think that he scored a touchdown, but Penn State gets screwed. And then here's what I remember most about that game, Jack, because John Bishop was doing post game, and you know about him. He hates Penn State going back to 1982.
Yeah,
and immediately, here's how we began the show. He just said, "Suck it," for like a minute. Suck it, Penn State. Absolutely suck it for what happened in 1982.
Jordan posted in the Discord chat the football karma graphic that takes the notch out of the sideline and puts it in the end zone. I forgot about that. Man, I completely forgot. And then the one in Happy Valley 13. That Nebraska wins.
Field goal, overtime.
I believe Pat Smith walks it off. Here's a guy you don't hear much about anymore. Pat Smith. Where's that? Maybe he wants to watch the game. That's who
should we text him for tonight?
Somebody find us Pat Smith. That guy doesn't get enough love because how many game-winning field goals does Nebraska have in the last 2 decades?
God. That was a part of a 5-0.
Lane McCallum are it, right?
That's
Lane McCallum.
That was a reverse groin kick era win for Nebraska because that was the season where they went 5-0 in one-score games. They win in overtime. They score in overtime. They walk them. Plus, Jack, that game had snow. There was like a really cool picture of Kenny Bell in that game with the snowflakes falling behind him.
Here's what I remember about that game. Ron Kellogg started at number 1. So that was all. I think Armstrong played a little, but I think he was still not 100%. So Kellogg played the majority of it. I think Kenny Bell took either a kickoff back in that game too.
I believe he did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did.
It was a weird. Yeah, that was when you won games like that. And it didn't seem like a huge deal, but
it really did not.
Like I can't. Can you even imagine now going into overtime and winning it with a field goal? It's
no. Like we can't even see him get first downs in overtime, let alone field goals.
Is
Jack,
that their last overtime win?
No, remember they beat Iowa the following year. And then they fired Bo Pelini,
yes.
and then everything went to hell.
Yes, but, when I thought of those, I had to consider where Iowa was at the time.
That's true. We all did. So that sets
Kenny
up for
Bell.
this game.
Jam sets up for this Kenny Bell. Yeah, I don't know.
Check.
I don't know if his employer will let him.
Yeah, that's true. I want to ask you this question, and I asked it yesterday, but I'd like to unpack it a little bit more with you. TJ Lateef, the idea of him playing well in Nebraska losing, him playing poorly in Nebraska winning. What is the more likely occurrence tonight? Is it him having a nice game and Nebraska still finds a way to lose, or is it Nebraska overcoming a rough second start for the true freshman and still finding a way to win? What is more likely to happen in your opinion?
You asked me this yesterday. I think the answer is definitely the former. Because I think I can see him not making, brutal mistakes, but we've had games like that with Dylan Raiola too, right? Where he didn't necessarily make a ton of mistakes. He didn't really have a bad game. His stat line ended up being a high completion rate, no interceptions, no turnovers, but the offense still couldn't get points out of it. And then, my biggest concern more than anything in this game is Nebraska's run defense against the way Penn State will attack it. And I know it's not a quarterback run thing, which has been their biggest vulnerability, but we talked a lot about USC. I think of that US game in particular where King, the running back for USC, it looked like he had about 80% of his plays where he got past the initial line, and then it was just 10 yards of open space.
Way too much
often.
space.
And it wasn't 60-yard runs, but it was a whole lot of 8 to 12-yard runs. And Penn State's got better running backs than him. He's, they've probably got a close to as good, if not better, probably have a better offensive line, right, than they do. And that is Nebraska's. To me, that has replaced pass protection as my biggest concern about this team, particularly in this matchup against Penn State, where that's what they do best, and that's what they will want to do best. And they have two guys, and again, Kaytron Allen's had
the way better season.
Yeah,
Singleton has really struggled this year.
I didn't realize Singleton's numbers. I heard you guys interview with, I believe it was Penn State's play-by-play guy,
Steve Jones,
week, and he did a good. You asked him some good questions, kind of talking about the difference between the two. And because I didn't realize Singleton had kind of his yards per carry is way lower than I realized.
Singleton 3.9 yards per carry, only 419 yards. He does have 9 touchdowns. Combined, those two backs have 21 touchdowns, Jack. But yeah, Kaytron Allen really doing a good job. He has close to 1,000 yards on the season, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. Yeah, it's certainly been a step back because Singleton, let's see, as a freshman, over 1,000 yards. As a junior, over 1,000 yards. He had 752 yards as a sophomore, but this year he's really taken a step back. He finally had a big run recently, but otherwise it's been tough sledding for him. Not so much for Kaytron Allen, but it's been tough sledding for Singleton.
So to get back to your question, I could just see a game where Nebraska's offense is sort of, not making big errors, but is not seeing a lot of points out of the whole thing. And Penn State really gashes Nebraska with the run game, and then you end up with a, 20 to 13 type game or something like that.
Well, hey, Jack, why don't we do this? Because normally we save the Bod.Coach Coach of the Week, but I do feel like this is a great opportunity to throw it in here. Rod Voracek, our Coach of the Week, and reminder, Jack, in the words of Split Zone Duo, this is not a predictor or pretender of success. We're just looking at a coach and saying, that's interesting. That said, this has been a great predictor or pretender of success. We have freaking nailed it all season long. And look, maybe it's because we're going for the low-hanging fruit in these games and which coaches are or aren't important. But every week now, we're looking at guys, and their units are having huge games. We agree, Jack, this is the unit that is going to have to play well today, and that is the linebackers because of what you just mentioned, in particular about the USC game, all of the green space that those runners had in front of them.
100%. They have got to get those run fits in. They got to get off blocks. They have got to make the tackles when they get them. Huge day. And I would say, even if you want me to get specific, I think Vincent Shavers needs to, Josh. We haven't seen him have the game that I think he's had a good season, but he's also been hurt. He's not quite. I had high expectations for him this year, and I think he's one of those guys that I thought he might explode a little bit more this season. I'd love to see him have a huge game as a run stopper, because I think he's potentially the guy that you really need to do. You need to do that. So, and Watson Trent too, to be honest, Josh, I would say both of those guys. Yeah. It's time for Shavers and Watson Trent to kind of be what we expected this year. So I agree. So Dvorak hasn't gotten another one of these assistants we don't talk about much at all, Josh.
Dude, I feel, how many times have we said his name on the podcast this year? I don't. It is not that many. It is not that many for
other than not a ton. So we will make him the Bod.Coach coach of the week. Check out Bod.Coach, and for those of you who can't see the graphics, it's Bod.Coach. Go to Bod.Coach/I80 Club. You can get 10% off their services. I use their services. What it is it essentially it's a physical trainer that you've got, a personal trainer that you've got via text. Yes, it's an AI-based personal trainer, but it's great because you can tell it what your objectives are, any kind of injuries or limitations that you've got, what equipment you've got, even if it's none, all the way from just nothing from body weight, all the way up to you've got a full gym to work out. If you want to do cardio, if you want to do strength training, but you don't know exactly what to do, and it stops so many people from working out, or they go to the gym and they feel stupid because they don't know what to do. I've been there, because the way we lifted when I played football was pretty simple. It was just you bench press and you squat, and that's all you do, and not the core work and not that other stuff. And it's really helped me to kind of figure out, hey, I should have been doing this, and make adjustments, and then even ask questions during the course of the workout. It is a really smart product. I'd encourage you guys, especially as we get into the new year, if you want to start working out more, this will help you. Bod.Coach/I80 Club, 10% off. It's a somebody who's really entrepreneurial. We know that we really like the product that they made. So go check them out. Get your deal here for this year. So there you go.
You put the super up. Let's throw it back up. Shout out to you, Chris. He says, let's make it another NU sweep weekend, basketball, volleyball, and football like 2 weeks ago, GBR, with all of the emojis. Yeah, it's been a nice few weeks, Jack, for
it's
Husker
been a good
fans and
fall.
for Husker athletics.
It just really has been a good fall and early winter. I mean, the women's basketball team is pretty much rolling. They absolutely destroyed Creighton. Volleyball is so ridiculously good. It is now almost, I'm just like, let's get to, I don't know, the Final Four. Like, is this what Kansas and Duke basketball fans feel like?
Yeah, can we just get to the Sweet 16 so we can start the actual season?
Challenged occasionally in conference play. At least they have a big Monday game at Iowa State where you're like, oh, this one might be a tough atmosphere. Nebraska goes into all these, the atmospheres aren't even tough because they're all freaking Nebraska fans, number one.
Yeah.
And then they murder them, and then they get into the first set, and by the end, those teams won off the floor with them. And the coaches' quotes, I know this isn't a volleyball show, but I got to tell you there's something, Josh.
Yeah.
The coaches' quotes and like the social media from the teams that Nebraska loses to, and I mean like even proud programs like UCLA are just hilarious. UCLA had a celebratory tweet that they took a set off Nebraska, and they like listed all the how long Nebraska, how they were the first to do that. And I was like, have some self-respect. God, I mean, you used to be winning natties.
This is like Lee Corso taking the photo. Hey, we're up on them in the football game. Let's all take a big group photo.
I swear they are steps away from the other teams asking to have selfies with them after the game.
Can we get your autograph? It's like the 92 Dream Team. Can we get your autographs, please? Can we get your autographs, please?
Unbelievable. And I mean, I think it'll go at some point. This level of it will end, and we're going to go back and like talk about this
historically
in a way that people won't even understand. Like it's just, it's stupid. So it's
historically great team. They are doing incredible work, and obviously the best coverage around is Volleyball State. They'll be recording another live show tomorrow for subscribers, for patrons, patreon.com/I80 Club. We would love to have you join us. There's a tier specifically for Volleyball State where you get access to all of the stuff, bonus episodes, newsletters, which they drop each and every Friday, and of course, post-game matches, their recaps there. If you want everything, including the bonus shows that Jack and I do, usually on Wednesday nights, you can do that for $8 a month. You also get access to our Discord server, which is where we are reading the comments from our subscribers, and there is some very fun ones, funny ones. Jordan with a good question. Is Nebraska better with DBK than they were with Cook? Interesting question that perhaps they will tackle on Volleyball State.
Let me ask you this about so I answered your question about Lateef.
Yeah.
What does describe to me, because so many, I'll back up a little bit. So I have said, and I know others have said, I am not going to talk about next year's quarterback race or who I prefer, and that'll probably get solved by itself, and they're not going to ask me. But for the purposes of talking about on shows, what I think is best for Nebraska next year, until I see these next two games, and I think you feel that way too. And so obviously that means Lateef has to play well. But what would that need to look like in this game for you to keep him on track for where he started against UCLA, toward getting potentially to the point after this year where you could say, yeah, I think he might be the best choice for them going forward, if you think you can say that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to say that, first of all. I think the style that he plays with, I think I want to be able to say, Jack, that he could be the future of the program, and it's time to make him the future now, right? What does that look like tonight? I mean, Jack, I was looking at touches, and it's a weird stat for a quarterback. They touch the football every play. But if you just combine his runs and passes, and you do then the traditional way of touches, he had 20 touches against UCLA. They only ran 54 plays on offense, which is an insanely low number. So he had a little over a third of the touches, and he performed at an incredibly high level, right? The efficiency was off the charts. The yards per pass attempt was 13. His yards per carry was, 6? He did a really nice job. He, of course, the biggest thing was he did not turn the ball over. And so I think I don't need to see that type of efficiency again. I don't think that is feasible, if I'm being honest. But if he has another 20 to 25 touches and continues to do a good job at, I don't know, man, the offense looking fun. Like it's almost what's the word that I keep coming back to? Yeah.
But it felt like it just felt like it was unencumbered in a way. And I don't even think it was all about him. I think it was, largely about him. But yes, my question was more, you answered it probably the way I feel too. I think if they're finally feeling like they're taking advantage of the talent that they have, and we don't say things like, where in the hell's Ja'Cory Barney at, right?
Dude, those wide receiver numbers are crazy.
If you can use, John and I went through I don't know if you were listening when John and I went through Ja'Cory Barney's numbers.
It's nuts. It's absolutely bonkers.
You would have died after the Michigan game if you would have said, this is what Ja'Cory Barney is going to do in October and November.
Yeah, for those who don't know, he has, what is it, Jack? Is it 55 yards total in the last 4 games? 55 receiving yards total. Going back to the Minnesota. So Minnesota, Northwestern, USC, and UCLA. 55 yards. The only consistent threat at wide receiver has been Isaiah Hunter.
That's it.
Because, Dane Key, his numbers have decreased. Now, part of this, of course, has come when they have now leaned into Emmett Johnson.
Understood, but
so it's just, man, but Ja'Cory Barney is so talented.
Maybe you shouldn't be leaning into Emmett Johnson that much.
I would disagree.
Okay, I don't know. They leaned on him, but in a different way against UCLA, and that was passing. I mean, he got plenty of runs, but it was passing to him out of the back.
Yeah, he had over 100 yards
when they broke big plays. And so maybe you lean on him a little bit in a different way. Because, look, you're saying the offense hasn't looked, quote, fun, and I fully agree, but they were leaning on Emmett Johnson in those games.
For sure.
And it just seemed, the success of the offense just seemed to be a product of Emmett Johnson's unbelievable effort and ability right now.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Jack? What do you think about this? Is there a world where TJ Lateef is able to have a day like some of the other running quarterbacks have against this team? Like Nico Iamaleava had a great game on the ground.
Nice. Oh God,
and then Gronowski had also a great game on the ground.
I got warm feelings that went down my body and goosebumps when that idea of just ripping off an annoying 37-yard run.
Because here's
on a 3rd and 3.
So what I wrote down yesterday for one of my keys was, so here was the numbers, by the way. Nico and UCLA rushed for 269 yards on the ground. Gronowski and Iowa rushed for 245 yards on the ground. So obviously mobility of the quarterbacks was a huge thing. I said, we know TJ is mobile and we know he can scoot. How good can his legs be in terms of an actual weapon? If there's a defense to find out against, this could be the one. Like, we know that he is mobile, Jack. Like, we saw that in the game against USC in his limited appearance, and of course we saw that last week. How big of a threat though is he? Dual threat? That's the question that I have going into this football game and into the end of the season. I'd like to see an answer to that question that is in the affirmative. Now, as Husker for MU just said, just don't think TJ will run much because we can't risk an injury.
We may not know. We may not get to find out. I think Husker for MU is right. I don't know. I actually thought I thought they would run him more. Like I didn't think they would.
Just 5 carries last week. Or 2
I thought
weeks
they
ago
would run him
Bruins.
more, especially after he ran on that RPO in the first play. I expect he'll run more in this game. I would be shocked. And part
what
of
would we set a total at? Like 7.5 carries? Would you go higher than that? 8.5, 9.5 carries?
Like Nate Rohr, and I was obviously very wrong about this, but Nate Rohr and I had a bet on our show. I said I thought he would have double-digit runs last week
against UCLA.
Because I really thought I thought they got this shiny new toy and they were going to want to use it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Husker for MU, what he said seems right based on what I saw, or maybe that was it. Now, he is going to have more runs because he is going to get more pressure in this game. There's no doubt about it. He will face more pressure in this game. Credit to the offensive line, credit to the play calling, because they have really changed the problems with, just pass pressure ruining the offense since the Minnesota game. You and John had a stat yesterday on your show where you said, I believe 1/3 of all of the sacks in the season happened in that game. Is that right?
Yes, they had the 9 sacks against Minnesota. Dylan was sacked 27 times this year. So think about that.
I'm interested to see, because there weren't really a whole lot of plays where he had to kind of scramble and improvise or just run. He did that a little bit against USC, I think, in the little bit that he was in that game. I do want to know what that looks like, but I still like what you said about the offense. It's just kind of, it when you see it with the offense being fun. But I still, this question remains for me, like, what skills specifically about Lateef do you need to have him prove to you in this game? Right? Is it his ability to run being a weapon? Because frankly, that's one of the reasons everyone's so excited about him. It might be nice to actually see if it isn't.
Because there's a difference, right, between mobility and being able to kind of move the pocket and bend the defense around you. There's a difference between that and being like an actual problem with your legs. So that's the thing that I don't know about him. Is he a actual dual threat quarterback, or is he just a quarterback who can move around and avoid sacks? Like, there's a difference between those two things, and I don't know which one he is at this point.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example of the difference between a mobile court. Joe Gans is the guy who comes to mind, because I always thought that guy had an incredible sense of ability to avoid sacks and also get some rushing yards.
Yeah. But he is not. I would never view him.
But he wasn't Taylor Martinez, right?
Correct. Yeah, because that's who Ben just brought up. He says T Magic. Yeah,
Taylor
Martinez, dual threat. Yeah, and Jack, that's the other thing about it. He was, in my opinion, like much closer to a run first quarterback than a pass first quarterback. The problem that we have seen too often around here with like a Tommy Armstrong, for example, is they have dual but their passing is like so limited that they're not even like a really dual threat. Like
dual threat.
Can TJ throw the ball? There you go. That's a really good one, right? And so I want to know how good of to answer your question, I want to know how good of a thrower he is. The play calling was wonderful against UCLA. They put him in a lot of nice spots. He had to make a couple of big throws, right? But a lot of the stuff was near and around the line of scrimmage. He had the 2 big throws, though, on the last drive of the game when they were, ticking the clock down. They had a 5-minute drive, essentially.
Those were impressive.
Back-to-back passes. I could not believe those play calls, let alone the throws that he made. I want to see what that looks like tonight. And, Jack, I don't want them to fall behind. I do want to see what happens if there is adversity, though, because that is the thing. We have seen Dylan Raiola, deal with adversity, sometimes good, sometimes bad. We have not seen that from TJ Lateef.
That is a bizarre fact about this team. Outside of the Minnesota game, Nebraska has played from ahead so much this year. You thought about that?
Yeah.
They have played from ahead
That Minnesota and
especially
Michigan.
early in games.
Yes.
And so, like, you haven't had to see that offense like, oh, we got to you got to get going, right?
It's why, Jack, like, they were able to play with their food against Michigan State. They were able to play with their food against Maryland, against Northwestern, and still win because they got off to strong starts early where they had, sometimes multi-score leads in those games, and it allowed them to when they had to come back late, they didn't have to overcome 20 points.
Right.
They only had to overcome a touchdown.
Because when the bad third quarter comes, they've got enough of a cushion. But they were ahead against USC. Mm-hmm. Hell, I mean, how many of those games could they have just buried the team they were playing if they had? USC they could have. But it's just, I say that more in the context of we haven't really seen this offense get to the point where, like, crap, we're gonna have to we have a lot of game left, but we're gonna have to score a lot, basically, right? So they've been able to be content, using the running game and not having a lot of urgency with the offense. So that would be one. But the other thing I'd like to see, man, I miss deep passes, Josh. Do you remember when football had deep passes?
I do, yeah.
We called them bombs.
Yeah, bomb like the ball.
Pete, we love the word bombs.
We love saying bomb.
We love saying bombs, don't we? I would love to see. I just want to know, is that he did have the one against Houston Christian, which was a deep pass, and it was right on the money. Now, to be fair,
Houston Christian, people forget.
To be fair, it's Houston Christian, and to be fair, there was not the closest player to who was it? Key who caught that, I think. Closest player to him. No, it was Clark, Quinn Clark.
Yes,
I think.
Yes, it was Clark.
The closest player to him was in Beatrice on that play, but in any case. I would love to see if he can do that. Yes, I want to see what his running game really looks like. Like, I hope they're not. I think Husker for MU is probably right. I kind of hope they're not doing that. I want to see because if you're going to use him that way, that's always going to be a risk, right? If that is a part of a game, if he's your guy going forward, if you're eventually going to use it down the road, use it now. If he gets hurt, what's the difference between if he gets hurt in this game and he gets hurt in the second game next year? You don't want it either time. Frankly, it's probably less of an issue now than it would be then to some degree. And that's not that's not me wanting to see Jalen Gramston, so save your comments.
Oh, I thought that's where this was leading. Like, put him in, he throws a really nice deep ball. I thought that's where this conversation was going.
But I was just saying, I think he might be right about what they're gonna, like, they're gonna a little reluctant to do it. I just wish they wouldn't be. I want to get the full Lateef experience, Josh.
Yeah.
I want Lateef unbridled.
Well, maybe we'll see that tonight. Jordan points out wheel route to Emmett was on the money. That was very
beautiful
nice.
Throw.
That was
beautiful
a nice throw.
Great throw. Nice you're exactly right about that. His throws looked really good. So, like, honestly, I don't feel like I've got a ton of. That's not really the thing. I want to see. I think the biggest thing, Josh, is how he handles some real pressure.
That's what I was going to say. It's just this is now you're going up, a level from UCLA to Penn State, and the atmosphere is going to be tougher. The environment, like Sam McEwen mentioned it on the Pick Six pod this week. Like, he is used to everything about the game that was played 2 weeks ago. He was used to the weather. He was in a comfortable environment. He was used to being on the West Coast. Like, it could not have gotten off to a better start. This is going to be the exact opposite. Now, it's not going to be snowing and insanely cold. It's going to be chillier, certainly. It's going to be a different environment. And it does seem like they will have a pretty solid, crowd tonight, even though they're really struggling. And so, like, that's just going to be different. I can't wait to see what he looks like. It was so much fun. We did the halftime show 2 weeks ago. We were having a blast. I'm really excited to see what things look like tonight for him in Nebraska's offense.
Matt in the Discord says being mobile usually helps you handle pressure better. And yes, obviously that's true. So that will be something that he's got. But I don't even just mean that, Josh. Like, I mean, hey, still stepping up in the pocket in the right time and getting a throw off at times, right? Yeah. It means deciding when to run and when not to run. It decides when you throw it, when you feel like you have to throw it, do you make a good decision? It means you don't take intentional grounding. I mean, there's a lot to that. And I agree with that. I do expect he will be better for that reason, but that's the one thing that I feel like I still don't really know about him. And frankly, I think it's where people think he's got the biggest advantage over Dylan Raiola. I know he's a better runner than Dylan, but in the end, isn't that really what it's about? It's about being able to handle pressure either via stepping up, having pocket presence, or by running, or by making good decisions when you're throwing. That's what it's when the TVs are saying they want him, that's what they're banking on, is that whole package about him that they suspect is better. And we'll see. And I don't know TJ. I mean, I obviously don't know him personally, but we haven't even heard much from him. I have a perception, and I don't know if this is right. I have a perception about him that could be based on nothing, but he's just a little bit more like a kind of a quiet type.
Seems like
you
it,
have
doesn't
that
it?
perception?
Yeah, it does. I do kind of get that vibe from him.
I get that, and like
it's a good question.
There's a weird part of me that kind of likes that in a quarterback. To some ways, it's almost like, I don't know. There's it's a weird thing to make an analogy to Nebraska basketball, but Nebraska basketball has had so many
Check out our show.
players on the team the last few years who just, Bryce Williams is the one I always thought of. It was like that guy he was always just like this, right? He was and he was kind of quiet, and like that benefited you in pressure situations.
Yeah, and maybe that benefits the team tonight if your read on is right. Hey, Jack, we'll get to the Saturday flight in just a moment, but I do want to mention this because we barely talked about Emmett Johnson, the best player on the football team. Penn State has really struggled in terms of tackling this year. Yes. I'm looking at CFB-graphs and a friend of the I-80 Club, Parker Fleming. This is his website. He joined me for the football show, I think last month. And their missed tackle rate, Penn State's, is 116th in the country. Nebraska's forcing of missed tackle rate on offense, a.k.a. Emmett Johnson, is 14th best in the country. And so you want, again, we already spent some time on TJ Lateef running the football. I want to see what happens with Emmett. I mean, every week now he is performing better than he did the week before. We're talking about him as it'll be a slam dunk for him to be the first team all-conference back, maybe the Big Ten running back of the year, an All-American of some sorts. Like, let's see what happens now after a lot of noise surrounding him in the best way possible. Matt Rule says he thinks he's ready to go, and he's handled everything really, really well. I can't wait to see what happens with Emmett tonight and how much they go to him. He's rushed for close to 30 carries in each of the last 3 games. He had more than 30 touches against UCLA. Does he get to 30 carries tonight? How do they involve him in the pass game? Does he have another 150-yard all-purpose type performance? This is a defense, again, that he might be able to have some success against because they are not good at tackling.
And this, if he can tear it off against them tonight, this will be, for me, almost the most impressive. Not necessarily because Penn State's such a devastating defense, which is exactly your point, but obviously UCLA was preparing for him. Obviously the last few teams have had to prepare for him and think he's going. But now, Josh, the spotlight is thanks to what Nebraska's done, and I don't blame them for doing it.
Absolutely.
But man, the spotlight, UCLA and their defensive meetings, that's who they're talking about, man, is Emmett Johnson. He's gouged every team he's played for the last month. If he can do it when that attention is on him tonight, and
in these next 2 games, man,
next 2 games, and I mean, listen, nobody's saying he's even going to New York for the Heisman or anything like that. And also, unfortunately, all of these running backs, Hardy from Missouri, Jeremiah Love, are just absolutely having huge numbers, and so it's going to be even.
And they're playing on teams that are, playoff.
Yes, they're playing on teams who are playoff teams, especially those 2 guys, and there's probably other ones that I'm forgetting. So it's going to be hard for him to get in the mix for even the Doak Walker and All-American. But if he can, the things he can even do for his draft stock in these next 2 games. I mean, look, I know there's some people who are mad about this being, I'm not one of them, a primetime NBC game. I'll tell you somebody who isn't Emmett Johnson. I mean,
oh yeah,
Emmett Johnson. Like, if you're going pro, which I'm at this point now, Josh, I would be shocked if he didn't go pro. I would be flabbergasted if he didn't go pro after this year. But if that's what you're doing and you got a chance, I mean, he's got somewhat limited film, to be honest, right? And so he has a couple of really good games. Could impact his draft stock a decent amount. I think he could make some money in the next 2 games, I guess.
Yeah, Matt says, I want EJ to crush Iowa. That would be such a send-off. Like, Jack, he has a real opportunity to finish his career. Like, he has already become, kind of an out-of-nowhere beloved Husker. And I think people are going to be talking about his season for a while. But if he is able to help them get an 8th win, whether it's tonight or next week, or certainly help them get to 9 wins. With that would mean a win tonight and then a win over Iowa on Black Friday. If he's able to get Nebraska the first home win against Iowa since 2011, and he is like the catalyst for all of that. Like, we'll talk about TJ, we'll talk about the defense, I have no doubt. We'll talk about special teams. All of those things will play a large part. But Emmett Johnson, I think, has become the story. We talked about it with Dirk Chatlin last week on the football show. He has become the story of this football season. And there are still 2 massive games in front of him in national windows, in big-time games for the program, where he could really kind of definitively say, yeah, I am obviously the best running back since Amir Abdullah, and maybe I'm the most beloved player since Amir Abdullah for Husker football.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool for him.
And you're about to do the flight, but getting on NBC at primetime, that matters, in my opinion. And I think there is, even though these are not playoff teams, this is not involving the conference race, there's enough intrigue about where Penn State is with their coaching search and their former coach going against them, right? And then just Penn State at night, people kind of go to that game. There's going to be more eyes on this game than you would probably think, is my guess. And then the Iowa game,
especially Jack with a slate tonight that ain't that
terrible.
great.
I was just going to say, we'll see what it's up against, but
yeah,
there's going to be more eyes, I think, than we realize on this, because those NBC. I always go to those NBC games, Josh. It's just
that HD looks so damn good, baby.
It looks so good. It looks good.
Yeah.
I wish they transferred their quality of broadcast to Peacock, because holy geez, but that's another story. And the Iowa game, same thing. I don't know what else it's competing with that day. Eventually the NFL probably, but in terms of
NFL, will kick off towards the very end of the game, but the early Black Friday games are Iowa, Nebraska, Kent State, Northern Illinois, Ohio, Buffalo, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. So, I mean, that one, because of all the lane shit, will probably dominate, and then Utah, Kansas. But still, I mean, Jack, Nebraska wins, Iowa wins. You're looking at a 8-3, 7-4 matchup. Nebraska loses, Iowa wins. You're looking at 7-4, 7-4. I mean, certainly it's not going to mean anything stakes-wise for a playoff or anything like that, but it will end up being like the biggest Nebraska-Iowa game probably since 2013 in terms of just raw record going into it, which is crazy to see. Yeah, because I mean, usually, well, I guess maybe 2016. I don't remember how good Iowa was in 2016. So probably 2016. That Nebraska team went into that game at 9-2. So it's probably it'll be the biggest since that. But dude, a huge opportunity. And Jack, have you started looking at the extended forecast? It's starting to look a little nicer on Black Friday. 40 degrees, sunny, not a whole lot of wind right now. I know we're still a week out, but
yeah, no, the
Friday
bad stuff
could be really nice.
The bad stuff's coming on Sunday. Sunday is going to be the mess. After
that's right. We're getting snow,
unfortunately, for travel. But Friday, I don't know that. I've got my weather guy on my show twice next week, so we'll get some details on that. But anyway, long way of saying, again, I know we've talked enough about the travel thing this week. That was ridiculous, in my opinion, and I'm so tired of just the topic of team logistics. Like,
yeah, I know. Stop being so whiny.
Do we need to have a section of the press conference about how they're getting to the hotel? I mean,
yeah.
What is
Dude,
this?
This
is turned into like some kind of like a corporate travel industry publication.
Jack, I read an article yesterday that was talking about, well, their airport, you can't fly as big of a plane into their airport. It's like, who gives a shit? Oh my gosh.
I
couldn't care less.
The amount of talk about that. And I don't know if Rule is telling behind the scenes. Rule is very big on it, and so he's talking to people about it, and they're asking questions about it a lot. But it's just it's a weird amount of that. It's a great chance to be on. Just say that's all it is. Being on that, and for Emmett Johnson, holy cow, it's a huge opportunity to go into Penn State and look better than frankly, not just that, look better than Katron Allen and Singleton, who are two of the guys he's competing with.
Correct. God, what a fun one.
Spots.
What a fun one tonight. Mark says, is Colt McCoy on the call? No, this will be Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge on the call. But no, Jack, it will not be them. It will be us for the watch party. Join us for the watch party tonight.
That was not
all right, Jack.
And guests and cameo guests.
All right, Jack, should we get to the Saturday flight? Get you ready for a day of football. Now, this is, as they call it, SoCon Saturday in the SEC. There are some SEC on SEC games. It starts in the 11 o'clock hour with Missouri at Oklahoma. Ooh, Jack, I think Missouri is going to get it done. I think Missouri's going to get it done.
Wow. I don't know that I would agree with that, but They got their quarterback back. Prabula is apparently. I thought he was out for the whole regular season.
Me too, and he might play tonight. What's going on?
I kept saying if Nebraska got him in a bowl, they would have an advantage by not playing him. But he's back already. That was a bad. He had a bad ankle dislocation.
Do we know for sure if he is back? Do we know that for a fact, or is it just like reporting? Like he might be playing?
I believe I heard that he was. I guess I'm not a Missouri insider, but I thought that's what I heard.
Not your story to tell, Jack.
And you know what? For me personally, that's a helmet game. That's a helmet.
Well, it depends on what helmet Missouri is wearing, because sometimes their helmets are garbage.
Sometimes their helmets are trash. We can wear the all yellows or something like that. Yeah. You freaking weirdos.
By the way, if Nebraska somehow plays Arizona State in a bowl game this year, they better wear their 96 stuff, not the garbage crap that they're wearing today. They're woke uniforms from 2025.
Wait, say that again.
Arizona State. I just was starting to think about other uniforms from that era that I really like. There's been some chatter about them playing Oklahoma or Arizona State. I don't think it's going to happen anymore, but you never know.
It was on 2 of the projections this week.
See, they better wear the 96 stuff. Do not wear the stupid ass trash from today.
If Jeff Sims would beat Nebraska in a bowl game, I don't. Wow,
Yeah, indeed. Other games in the 11 a.m. window, Rutgers and Ohio State is big noon. I mean, Jack, there's a world where we're getting ready for Nebraska, Penn State right now, but Rutgers and Ohio State
this is the Nebraska volleyball versus Iowa of this Saturday.
Yeah, it really is. Miami at Virginia Tech. How about this? James Franklin probably will be there in some form, right? He'll be on the sidelines, maybe watching his new team. He's already hired. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's an early hire. Virginia Tech. Kudos to Virginia Tech, Josh.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid.
Pull this off, man. You have got to be happier than hell. They feel like their last 2 hires have probably not been, home runs for them with Fuentes and I can't remember their last guy's coach, but that's also a nice nostalgic helmet game for me.
Dude, reminds me Willis McGahee.
Will bring me back to the 2001 game. People forget Virginia Tech probably should have beat Miami in that game, and Miami, the greatest team of all time, probably shouldn't have been in the national championship.
It could have been Nebraska-Colorado rematch. Can you imagine, Jack, if that would have happened?
Yeah.
Wow, sad. Minnesota Northwestern on BTN, Louisville SMU on ESPN2, Kansas at Iowa State on FS1, and TNT has Baylor at Arizona. As we said, it's not the best of slate. Let's get to the afternoon. Oh, I forgot to put it at ranking next to Oregon. The game of the day, USC at Oregon. Oregon, comes into this game number 7, USC number 15. Jack, I'll give you a second upset. I think USC is going to get it done. I think they're going to go into Autzen today and win. I think Oregon, they are going to win.
The path of the belief about Oregon's quality this year has been a fascinating one to me, right? They lost the game to Indiana. They've won every other game. Close against Iowa, but won that game. But there were times at the beginning of the year, especially after they beat Penn State, Josh, where everyone's like, I think this is the best team in the country. I think this is the best team in the country. Dan Lanning you can't beat Dan Lanning, I think. And not that much has happened. Yes, they lost to Indiana, I guess that's it. But other than that, people seem to have really changed their opinion on this team over the course of them losing once.
Well, they haven't played anybody else. The Wisconsin game, I know the weather was bad, but it went down to the wire. I came away very impressed by them in the win over Iowa. I like USC's offense. I think USC's offense is awesome. And I think that they're going to cause some problems.
It would make me feel some real frustration. Nebraska losing to USC.
Jack, when we come on the air, when the pod gets going later tonight, that game will probably still be going on. So we'll have some reaction to that one. That'll
USC be a long game too. That'll be a very long game.
Hey, speaking of games before Nebraska, will Syracuse at Notre Dame on NBC cause for some stupid shit to happen this evening?
My gosh.
Jack, I think we might just have to agree to
100%.
We might just have to watch the game on Peacock so we make sure we don't miss the beginning of it. I don't want you to be yelling at your TV and all of those types of things. So let's just agree to watch it on Peacock later.
I almost canceled Peacock last night, so that's good.
Look at you. Arkansas at Texas. Will they bring Richard Nixon's corpse to the game? Let's find out today on ABC.
Underrated rivalry.
Conference.
Arkansas has nothing to lose. Texas is looking ahead to Texas A&M, which is going to be awesome on Black Friday. Watch out. Texas. Watch out.
I think Texas is going to lose to Texas A&M. Kansas State at Utah on ESPN2. BTN has Michigan State at Iowa. If you want to get a little bit of a preview of Nebraska's final opponent, Duke at North Carolina. Classic college basketball rivalry.
Good Lord.
And then FS1 has Michigan at Maryland. I think here's a take for you, Jack. Michigan and Ohio State. Okay,
no.
Both of them are going to play close games.
Yeah.
Both going to play close games.
I mean, Michigan at Maryland is the most freaking classic look-ahead game you could ever imagine.
Yeah, these two programs have often had really weird performances in the week before the game because they're looking ahead to it, and especially this year, I think, especially Ohio State. And Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate aren't playing. I didn't mention that on the previous slide, but they're not playing today. So, yeah, I think it's for Ohio State, just get the win, move on, get ready for them, hopefully beat Michigan.
Well, Maryland has gone to crap this year. Don't forget, when Washington came there, Maryland absolutely should have beat them that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should have beat Washington. Great, the good pass rush. Their quarterback can, at times can do. I'm not trying to sell Maryland as some kind of playoff team, but I just think Michigan can be somewhat mid sometimes.
Dude, they played them close 2 years ago. The national championship team went, I think, this exact week, Jack, and they almost lost.
Man, everything about this game says let down situation for Michigan.
Yeah. Indeed it does. Let's get to the night window. Of course, our eyes will be on Nebraska and Penn State on NBC. If you want to bounce around during commercials. Tennessee at Florida. Jack, you want to talk about a game that should not be played in November. What are we doing here? What has happened to society when Tennessee is playing Florida and is this late in the season? I know 9/11 affected it in 2001. This game belongs in September, like the good Lord intended. What are we doing? What has happened to society?
Agreed.
Trash.
Agreed.
This sucks. Pitt at Georgia Tech. Let's see if Pitt, after saying, we don't care if we lose by 100 to Notre Dame. Let's see if they can get off the mat since they pretty much lost by 100 last week. BYU at Cincinnati. Jack, another upset for you. Give me the Bearcats.
It would make us all feel good if Cincinnati won that game, wouldn't it?
It definitely would at the same time as Nebraska. Illinois at Wisconsin on BTN. Cal at Stanford. The game, a classic ACC rivalry, is on ACC Network. And a reminder, the watch party will be going on throughout all of this. Finally, Sicko's window, a triple header for NBC today, Jack. Washington at UCLA on NBC, Utah State at Fresno State on CBS Sports Network, and San Jose State at San Diego.
Is Nico still out for UCLA?
Good question. I have no idea.
Okay, because that affects how interested I am in that game.
Also, the performance by Nebraska, because that will affect your mood.
That's true. Nebraska loses, not like, well, now I'm going to stay up and watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
we have. Oh, what you got?
I was just going to say real quick on the watch party, which you had there. We will go live right at 6. Josh, is that the plan?
We will go. I'm going to text Brunts after we finish up the show, and I'm going to ask him if he can hook me up with hey, what's the clock say in the stadium? We will start 5 minutes before the official kickoff is going to be the plan. So 6-ish, somewhere in there.
We'll put out an official start time on there. And the other thing, I know we probably have people watching or listening on the podcast before the game who have not done a watch party with us. Here's how it works.
Yeah.
Josh and I sync our TVs to the same spot. Generally, we end up a little behind probably where the average person is watching it, especially if you're watching it over the air.
And plus, you're also watching it on YouTube, so then there's going to be a natural delay with our stream anyway as well.
So we will help you if you would like to do it this way to sync your game on your screen, because we can't do it on YouTube if we actually put the game in the frame.
We get banned.
So we get in trouble, but we can do it this way. And people have found that it's not that hard to get synced up. And if you ever have an issue, if you want to try and get synced up, just say something in the chat and we can help you get synced up. And if you missed it before, we are going to bring in some cameos tonight, some appearances by some friends of the club. Right now, confirmed Connor Happer, Matt McMaster, basically just Josh's coworkers.
What does that mean?
Well, it's just, I mean, it's not that far ranging.
Tell your friend Corey Ross to respond to text for once.
He might have. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But we might throw some more out during the course of the day today. Maybe we'll get some more. Maybe we'll just send a link out to a huge list of celebs, and whoever pops in. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But it should be. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a game we don't know what's going to happen. I'll be fired up. tonight. I don't like Penn State. If Nebraska get this win, if Nebraska gets this win, in my opinion, they have
all
now.
bets are off, man.
If Nebraska gets to this win, they have now unquestionably, to me, taken a step forward from last year.
Absolutely.
Like, this is the line to me.
Yep. Plus, don't forget, we will be doing sips for supers. So hook us up with a super. And Riss picked up some great local beer last night at the store. So I'll be enjoying some cross-strain throughout the game tonight. So we are going to have an awesome,
what I'm going to have.
Time.
We'll see. I'm going to get something light. I will tell you that right now, because if I'm sipping throughout the game, yes, that by the end we don't want a Creighton game situation. Let's just say that. Or maybe some of you do. I don't know.
I was going to say that was a good time. By the way, we normally, Jack, we don't put comments from the YouTube unless it's a super on the screen, but I did want to throw this one up there from Christopher, who says, I need to get on the Discord group. This is epic. Christopher, we'd love to have you. Easy to do so. Patreon.com/I80Club for access to the Discord server. Just $8 a month. We do bonus podcasts. We do all sorts of stuff. Inside information can be found in there as well. All sorts of stuff. So we would love to have you. Patreon.com/I80Club. It is a great group of Husker fans, sports fans, all sorts of conversation there. You can see me in the book channel. I haven't given my thoughts on Pluribus yet this week, Jack. Watch Pluribus, so I got some takes on Pluribus.
You can mute channels if you need to.
You are a monster. Yes, I don't read the wrestling channel.
Yes.
Food talk, as Adam says. Wow, Jeb says Bill Murray might wander in. He could join us tonight. Yeah, who knows what we're going to see. There's a hat channel, says Adam. There is a hat channel. What a wild channel. Wild channel. Yes. All right, we'd love to have you, though. Patreon.com/IDClub. I just found out Bruns is indeed going to be there. I'm going to find out from him, Jack, the 5-minute countdown. I guess we'll do this. If the game starts after 6:05, let's just go on at 6. And then if the game starts at 6:02, we'll go on at 5:57. You got all that? We'll start around 6 o'clock. All right. We'll see you later.
Don't forget Brasky Ball Santa shirts at our spread shop. And I will I'll post a link there in the Discord if you can't figure out how to get there. I forgot the URL that I made. So
perfect.
Sorry.
All good. All right, everybody. For Jack, I'm Josh. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you tonight at 6 o'clock for the watch party of Nebraska and Penn State. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Bye-bye.